Roma Wines bring you a remarkable tale of suspense.
And with fear paints a picture, and with the performance of Hollywood's most glamorous young star, Miss Lana Turner, Roma Wines hope indeed to keep you in suspense.
There is a picture hanging on a wall. You look at it casually. An extraordinary picture. You'll say skillfully done. Look at those fine brush strokes. Look at those superb colors. But isn't the subject matter a little bizarre? It's something more than just bizarre. You see, it was that picture that first convinced me that I was insane. But let me begin from the beginning. In his last will and testament, my father made me heir to all his considerable fortune, except that... here, you read the will.
I, Benjamin Powell, hereby request that after my death, my daughter Julia live in my old San Francisco house with Mr. Harvey Lyons, my lifelong friend, until her 23rd birthday, at which date all my worldly belongings will come into her possession, provided that nothing untoward happens to her by that time. But in the event that she is incapable of taking over my estate upon her 23rd birthday, I hereby appoint Harvey and Laura Lyons as my final heirs, there being no other living blood relatives, and trust to their judgment that they will take care of Julia adequately and with kindness. Signed, Benjamin Powell.
3 months later, seated around the huge ornate fireplace of that dark, musty living room, we were 3 silent people. Harvey was reading his newspaper, Laura was knitting with nimble fingers, and I stared with unseeing eyes at an open book.
You're not reading, Julia.
I'm not concentrating.
Are you feeling all right, dear?
Oh, yes, I'm all right.
You do look a little tired, Julia. Perhaps you'd better get some rest.
I'm not tired, Harvey. I've been wanting to ask...
In a week, Julia will be 23. Isn't that wonderful, Harvey? Next Tuesday is her birthday.
Why,
and
yes,
I think...
we'll have a party. I'll get old Tom and his fiddle, and we'll have a real old-fashioned party.
Harvey.
Huh?
What did Father mean by the will?
The will?
Perhaps you'd better go to bed. You look a little pale, Julia.
The will said that I might not be able to take over the estate by my 23rd birthday. What does it mean?
I don't remember that. I didn't read the will very carefully.
Oh, yes, you did, Harvey. You know what I'm talking about.
Perhaps we'd better discuss it in the morning. You're tired.
It's no use, Laura. I've got to know.
No, you're a very high-strung girl, Julia, and I'd rather not upset you before bedtime.
Upset me?
You sort of get moody very often.
Now,
Julia.
Harvey.
Laura, I'm not going to bed until I find out what all this means. I've got to find out.
You don't like your room, do you?
No, I don't. It's big. The wallpaper. I don't like the pictures on the wall.
There's nothing wrong with a big room. Everyone prefers a large room. Everyone likes pictures on the wall.
Well, maybe it's the kind of pictures. Yes, it's the pictures. They rub me the wrong way.
You see, your feelings about things are different. Different from the feelings of normal people. Oh.
Normal people?
I can't stand this torturous way of telling her. I'll tell you, Julia. Your mother died in an asylum. She went mad after her 23rd year. It's been in the family for generations.
But I never saw my mother.
We didn't want to tell you this. I wish you hadn't. But you forced us.
You mean I'm liable to become insane?
Well, you see, any one of us can become insane.
There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly all right. I'm as sane as anyone. Being high-strung doesn't make me mad. I don't like it here. I don't like this house. safe. I'm safe.
Of course you are, Julia. There's nothing the matter with you. You'll be all right. Your father wasn't sure, that's all. You're as sane as any one of us. Come along. I'll take you to your room. We'll have a cup of tea together.
How is she, Laura?
She's calmed down.
Is she asleep?
No, Harvey, she's reading.
Well, that must be Dr. Barrow. I'll open the door.
How do you do, Mr. Lyons?
Is it Dr. Barrow?
That's right.
This is my wife, Laura.
How do you do?
I'm glad to meet you, Doctor.
Let me take your things. We'll have your room ready in a few minutes.
Thank you. It's very good of you.
Here, sit down. Sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
Well, thank you. I will. Well, how's Julia?
Oh, she's been very moody lately. Very moody. I've heard her talking to herself very often.
Well, that's nothing. All of us talk to ourselves once in a while.
I don't know, Doctor. I don't think she's very stable.
Mr. Powell described Julia's case to me just before he died. I had occasion to observe her just once.
You knew Mr. Powell well?
Oh, yes. For quite a number of years, I treated his wife.
Poor Mrs. Powell. She went mad. And now poor Julia.
I wouldn't make that comparison, Mr. Lyons. So far, there's no basis for any such theory.
Well, then, Julia just has strong dislikes. Took a hate to the pictures in her room.
Oh, pictures, eh? I'd like to go up and see her if she's not asleep.
Well, I guess it's all right. She's not asleep yet. Her room's the second from the right, as you reach the top of the stairs.
Thank you. I'll just stop in for a few minutes.
Come in.
Hello, Julia. You remember me, don't you?
No. No, not exactly. I guess maybe I've seen your face. I don't know.
I'm Dr. Barrow, a friend of your father's. I treated your mother.
My mother?
Now, don't be alarmed. I'm staying with your guardians for a few weeks. I'm sure you're going to be all right. Do you mind if I come in for a few minutes?
No. No, I guess not.
Well, this is a fine room, Julia. A very comfortable one.
I don't like it. It's too big. It makes me lonely.
Oh, nonsense. You're just imaginative. You think someone might be hiding in here while you're asleep, don't you now, huh?
It isn't that.
Don't you like that picture, Julia?
What picture?
The one you're staring at.
Oh, it's an unpleasant picture. It gives me nightmares. Look at it. That frightful-looking man about to come through the doorway. And the unsuspecting girl sitting in a chair with her back towards him.
He's not frightful-looking at all. It's just a black scarf around his neck.
He's about to kill her.
You certainly have a vivid imagination. I'm sure the artist had no such idea in mind.
That picture has a horrible fascination for me. I just can't take my eyes away from it. Why, last night I dreamed that the man in the picture came through the door with a knife in his hands and killed the girl. Oh, it was an awful dream.
It was only a dream. But if I take that painting off the wall, Julia, you'll find other things to be afraid of, dear. You've got to conquer your fears, or they'll conquer you, Julia. Now, you do as I say. Forget about this picture. Get a good night's sleep. There's nothing like a good night's sleep to lift the spirits. If the picture fascinates you, well, keep on looking at it, but don't be afraid of it, Julia. Will you do that now?
Well, yes, Dr. Barrow, if you say so.
Ah, that's fine. I'll see you in the morning. Good night, Julia.
Good night.